Let's now start talking about controlling the schedule. After that, we have completed understanding, validate scope process, and control the scope. Now let's move to the control schedule. The control schedule process is crucial for ensuring that the project activities are completed on time. It involves monitoring the actual progress, comparing it against the planned schedule, and taking the corrective actions when deviations occur. Without effective schedule control, the project may risk some delays or increase cost and resource inefficiencies. And the goal of this process is to detect any schedule problems early and apply proactive measures to keep the project on track. So we have the key ITTOs here involved when controlling the schedule. The, the key inputs here you have the project management plans, which contains the schedule baseline and schedule management plan. When it comes to the project document, you have the work performance data, the risk register, and let's say the project schedule. Also, the work performance data as one of these important inputs, which includes real-time updates, task completion. The tools and technique used when controlling the schedule. The first one here you have is the data analysis to identify the variance um, that could cover the any schedule deviations. Also, the data analysis, you can use the trend analysis to predict the future schedule performance based on the historical data or the historical, let's say, records. We have also this critical path method, which we haven't covered, but we are going to cover it when we on the next sessions. So the critical path method, it's a method that is used to identify the longest sequence of dependent tasks. And we finally have this schedule compression. And for schedule compression, we have two key, let's say, techniques here. You can, let's say, do to compress your schedule. First one is fast tracking. And fast tracking, it's like involving, let's say, conducting tasks in parallel. So you don't have to wait for, let's say, the two activities to finish. So you can start both of them at the time if there is no dependency at each of them. So the first, let's say, scheduling compression technique here we have is the fast tracking, and next we have crashing. And crashing means adding more resources to speed up the work. The key outputs here we have is the work performance information, which reports on the actual versus planned progress. Also, the schedule forecasts. And the schedule forecasts, it's like estimate the future schedule performance. In case if that you have, let's say, covered any changes that you need to be, let's say, uh, admit to the project schedule, then you have to say to go for a change request, which must be approved by the change control board when necessary. So again, these inputs and techniques and outputs for the control schedule, it defines how the progress is tracked and the delays are managed. The key tools here we have here the variance and trend analysis and schedule compression, which help you detect the problems, while methods like the fast tracking and crashing allows the project manager to recover the lost time. Any changes to the schedule must go through the formal change control process to ensure the alignment with the project objectives. We're also going to cover the leads and lags. We already have covered the schedule compression, the leads and lags. The what else we have here? The critical path we've talked about, which is the longest, let's say, path or the longest time that an activity has to take, so the other activity can start. If you recall that when we were discussing about the AVM, the earned value management, and we talked about, let's say, the schedule variance, um, also the let's say the cost variance, which is CV. So the schedule variance, which is SV, and schedule performance index, the schedule performance index is SPI. These two are used to measure the schedule performance. And the common causes of schedule variances include maybe underestimating the task duration. So, in case if you are faced with any issue that you have underestimated, let's say, schedule, and you have seen that you have a big variance in your schedules, comparing the planned with the actual time that is needed to spend to complete that task. First common cause here we say the underestimated task duration. Next, you have the unexpected delays, such as resources shortages, and sometimes you might also face some scope changes that could affect the schedule. So the key points here we have here is schedule variance, which is the SV, and the schedule performance index, which is used to measure the schedule performance. And we have here key formulas that can be used, let's say, when working with the earned value management or the AVM formulas. The first one you have here is SV, which is the schedule variance. And schedule variance, it helps you to understand the variance between the planned and the actual, let's say, the planned value or the planned schedule timing compared to the earned value. And the schedule variance or SV can be calculated as the earned value, which is EV, minus the planned value, which is the PV. And if the SV or the schedule variance is greater than zero, so the project here is ahead of schedule. So you don't have to do anything. And this is very important for your exam. So you can understand in case what does it mean with SV or let's say CV, cost variance. What does it mean you have, let's say, a value more than zero? That means the project is ahead of schedule. The other hand, if the SV or the schedule variance is less than zero, then the project is behind the schedule, and then you need to take the corrective action by, let's say, submitting a change request and getting it approved by the CCB to realign your project with the project schedule. Next, we have this schedule performance index, which is known as the SPI. So to calculate the schedule performance index, you need to take the, let's say, the earned value or the EV, and you need to divide it this time with the planned value. So again, to find the variance in the schedule or the schedule variance, which is the SV, you need to minus the earned value from the planned value. However, when it comes to the SPI or the index of the schedule performance, you need to have a division or divide the earned value divided by the, let's say, the planned value. And here, how to read the result, if the SPI is greater than 1, okay, again, if the schedule performance index or the SPI is greater than 1, the project is ahead of schedule. Okay, clear? Again, if the SPI is greater than 1, that means the project is ahead of schedule. And if the SPI is less than 1, then the project is behind the schedule, and then you need to take a corrective action. Let's take here an example in, let's say, in a construction project, which it was planned to complete the foundation work by week 5. Okay, so in the fifth week, you were supposed to complete the foundation work. And let's say due a material shortages and issues and supplying these, let's say, materials, the progress was delayed, resulting an SPI of, again, the SPI we said here, it's the schedule performance index. Let's say that it's equal to 0.85, and 0.85 is less than 1, means that the project is behind the schedule. So the project team can use the fast tracking. If you recall, when we talked about these techniques, the compression technique, fast tracking, to start two activities at the same time, and the team here can use the fast tracking, or um, let's say they also can use the the crashing by adding more resources to the project or to the tasks or activities to recover the time by starting the structural work in parallel with remaining foundational activities. That is how they can, let's say, help increasing the SPI value to reach at least zero point 0.1 or let's say 1. When it comes to performing variance and trend analysis, so the variance analysis, it helps you identifying the schedule performance gaps, okay? And trend analysis, it helps you forecast the potential schedule risks based on the project data. Also, the root cause analysis to help you diagnose the reason for delays and help you to resolve these delays by understanding the key reason behind that, let's say, issues or delays. Let's take here an example of an IT project where it showed there is a declining SPI, which is Schedule Performance Index, over 3 months. So for 3 months, the SPI shows less than 1, and the trend analysis has indicated that the growing backlog of testing tasks. So here you are, let's say, utilizing the trend analysis to understand what was the issue. So the team has covered that the backlog of testing tasks keep growing without moving. So later on, a root cause analysis, after it get conducted, revealed that the insufficient test engineers caused the bottlenecks. And these bottlenecks were caused by, again, by the growing backlog and without having, let's say, moving testing tasks. Then the root cause has identified that there is insufficient test engineers, and the project teams has reallocated additional testers, improving the SPI, let's say, to 1 point, say 1.02 or 1.03. So this is how you can utilize these, let's say, techniques to resolve the schedule performance issues.